Hello, good day. My name is Lydia and you're watching Open Studio right here on Cape Town TV. Today with me in the studio I have an ex-Open Studio presenter that goes by the name of Phemelo, Mhlanga. He's here to tell us about more of his work after leaving Open Studio, and we're about to play some of his work that he has done while he was here, so check it out.
And good afternoon, welcome to Open Studio right here on DSTV channel 263. My name is Phemelo Mhlanga, aka the P Master. And Dumela Cape Town, Lina Laka ke Phemelo Mhlanga. And today we are in the Khayelitsha Training Center where SIFA is hosting a breakfast, a session for small businesses and cooperatives. But tell us now about Zenith Design. When did the brand start and what is it that you specialize in? Why is poverty so detrimental? And we're standing here with Sis Notemba from SIFA. She's one of the people who were actually involved in today's breakfast session that is hosted by SIFA in aiding small businesses in Khayelitsha. But of course, you're going to be going to an ad break right now. When you come back, we're going to be finding out more about the school, and you better stay there, man. Cape Town TV, channel 263.
How do you feel?
Well, I didn't see that one coming, but I mean, Cape Town TV like really developed me in so many ways. I mean, when I came to Cape Town in 2017, I'd never done TV before, and seeing that now and just seeing how much I've actually grown as well, it's just amazing.
And like right now, I'm feeling like you're judging me. Like
no, I'm not. Why?
You're sitting, you're sitting on the opposite of the couch now. You used to be here. How does it feel actually being there?
Well,
right,
it feels, I feel like I've grown. It feels amazing. And you know, as I was just saying now, that I will forever be grateful for the opportunity and platform of which Cape Town TV gave me. You know, when I came and knocked on the doors asking for an opportunity, and you know, they gave me one.
Yeah, and you always knew that you were gonna do television, or
definitely
showbiz.
Definitely, like from a very young age, I always knew. It all started in 2010 when I walked to a local radio station, Mahikeng FM. Like one day, my mother just passed a taxi past, and she said, "You see, that's where the radio stations are." And I walked there. I was in grade 6 at that time, 2010, during the FIFA World Cup. Walked there and asked to see the station, and the presenter who was presenting at the moment decided to give me a chance to say something, and he was just amazed by what I had to say at the time. And it is from that moment that I started growing love for the world of media and radio. And you know, I've been exposed to so many opportunities after that. I was spotted by Motuding FM while I was busy at Mahikeng FM.
And we are here to talk about that. Yes, we are here to talk about that. But tell us about your upbringing and your early life and getting to where you are right now.
Yeah, well, my upbringing was very difficult. I mean, I come from a very disadvantaged background. I grew up in a shack back in Mahikeng. And you know, a lot of people actually get so much surprised when I tell them this. And I remember there's this one time, like, because people used to make fun of me so much because of we stay in a shack, a very small shack, in a place where people actually have houses. And they used to make fun of me that, you know, you stay in a shack. And I went home this one time crying and told my mother that, you know, people keep making fun of the fact that we stay on a shack, that I stay on a shack rather. And my mother said to me that, you know what, these people are judging you based on something that is not even yours. You did not choose to be born into this shack. People will judge you based on what you managed to do for yourself in life. And it is from that moment and that I told myself that, you know what, I want to be the best that I can be, and not anything will stand in my way. So eventually when I was in grade 8 and I wanted to do media, and I was doing so much things, and my mother was against them because she felt that she wanted me to...
It's not a real job.
Yeah. And she wanted me to focus on school as well solely, but I knew what I was doing then because my attention was all over the place. So she kicked me out as a result. And because of I believed in what I was doing so much, and I was still so young yet, and a lot of people felt like I didn't understand, but I knew that I did, I left. And it has taken me, like I came to Cape, I remember when I took the decision to come to Cape Town at one point, I took everything that belongs to me at Mahikeng because I felt that there is no longer anything for me in Mahikeng. I'm going to Cape Town and I'm going to start something fresh. And it was difficult for me to adjust to Cape Town. I mean, it took me, but eventually I did in a short space of time. And I must say, through all of my experiences, I really saw that there is a God. And, you know, all of those things that happened in my life and how my life ended up ultimately is something that made me believe that there is a higher power.
Yes, someone that's bigger than us and that can actually control things and make them go where they are supposed to be. Or just
Very
like
true.
just put the puzzle together. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
And I feel like we actually have similar stories coming into the industry. Like every big name out there started somewhere. Like I came from this kind of township.
Yeah.
I was like this person. I was that person. And look at me right now. So tell us more about how you got into the industry. How you actually got to where you are as within the industry.
Yeah. Well, I used to go to so many auditions like many other people.
Yeah.
When I came to Cape Town, I got accepted to study become accounting science, and a lot of people asking me, why are you doing accounting science instead of following media, because of you've been showing so much love for it with time. And I'm like, for me personally, I feel like I want to learn in the job instead of going studying and choose to study something else to challenge myself, because of my goal ultimately is not to be a presenter, a certain show. Ultimately, I am more of a business person than anything else.
Okay.
I want to be a game changer. I want to bring to bring rise to the industry, give power to it. And I felt like, you know, doing accounting science and following a chartered accountancy qualification, while I still continue to do a job as a presenter, as an actor on the side, both of those things will definitely make me a powerhouse and equip me with the necessary skills for me to be able to do what I really want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So what else do you do? Because I just heard you mentioning acting.
Yes, I actually started after I left Cape Town TV. That is when I got casted for my first acting role. I mean, I was going for so many auditions in 2017 because I just wanted an opportunity. So I would audition for everything, whether it is acting, whether it's TV, and I would get shortlisted for some of them and eventually not make the cut for some of them. But eventually last year I got casted for my first theatre role in a South African production force. It's a political
Phemelo,
thriller.
you are aware of television time, right?
Oh yes.
Yes, we have to take an ad break. And we'll be back just after these. Welcome back. I'm still with Mhlanga, and we're still talking about his career and what he's all about, basically. So we was talking about acting before we went to for a commercial break. So we can continue on that.
Oh yeah, I was speaking about the first production I got casted for, Force, a political thriller that is produced by Mishmash Production.
Okay.
And I was playing a supporting character of Tommy. It's a very interesting story centered around what politics are currently in South Africa, and it's going to be making a return on theatre post-election, because now since we go into election in May, what I like about the production is that yes, the characters are fiction, like they're fiction characters, but it shows what South Africa looks like. What's this word I'm looking for? Oh, you know. Anyway, English data depleting. But like it speaks basically about what politics are and the future of politics in our country. So that was my first thingy. And this year eventually I got casted for other productions. I've been doing a lot of passion projects as well, centered around the LGBTQ plus project. Also, I played a role in I Am Trans, and I as well played a role that is completely out of my comfort zone. I played a drag and a transgender woman in a transformed play, and a lot of people don't even recognize that this is actually you because of how the whole thing turned out. But very exciting experiences and getting to grow in so many ways through Mishmash Productions.
So when did showbiz start for you?
Well,
like specifically which year?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily, like, I still feel like I'm growing. I'm not where I want to be, you understand? However, it has always been the case. I always tell my friends that I don't think that I would actually go insane if I were to stay and actually only study or actually only do chartered accounting. So I would go insane, because literally when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I would present my way out of bed. This is Phemelo Mhlanga getting up in the morning, you know. Like that is how crazy I am about presenting and acting. And even when I get to the shower, I do crazy things, and I would say, you know what, if I do not I do not do any of this, I would definitely go crazy. So showbiz for me, this is passion to me, and I still feel like I'm growing in it. So I feel like I haven't started.
You haven't started at all?
I haven't.
Yeah, going back to, maybe this would be a little bit personal, but you've moved out from your mom's house because you were like, I'm gonna follow my dreams. I'm gonna go get what I want. and she was not supportive of that. Now I'm seeing you where you are right now. What is she saying?
Well, I do know for a fact that my mother is proud. Yeah, even though we don't, like, I love my mother so much. And I know that my mother is very proud of the things I do. Even though, you know how parents are, like, even though she doesn't show it, because, I mean, we are not in speaking terms right now, me and my mother. But I know for the fact that she loves me, and I love her just as much. It doesn't matter what she says to me or what she has said to me before. Deep down, she's my mother, and I will always love her. And what I pride myself in is that through all and everything, I never answer back at her, because I always remember my place in the relationship, that I'm the child ultimately. She can curse the day I was born all she wants, but ultimately I know that she's saying all those things out of anger, because like most parents do that.
You can never try it with Sutu parents. You can never try it with Sutu parents. But like, I actually do relate to that, because it took my dad quite some time to actually be in what I'm like, or see what I'm seeing, or see my vision and stuff. Now we are in showbiz, and somehow we need support, you know, and we need someone who's going to like take us through this journey. Sometimes we don't even know, like, the doors that we knock, where we knock, we don't know whether the door will be open, and we do not know who's going to be there and be like, you know what, I'll take you through it. You know, so who would you say took you through it?
Well, there's a number of people actually who came into the picture, but let me go back to when I was starting.
Okay.
He was in Motsweding FM. There's been a reshuffle now. He's in Northwest FM. However, he's the one, and David Machaye from SABC. They're the ones who hit me from Mahikeng FM, and they got in contact with me. So I would say they're the ones who really made me realize my love and passion for this, and I will forever be grateful for that. And eventually, when I came to Cape Town, TV, I met a woman by the name of Noli Vuyo. She's no longer with Cape Town TV, but she's also someone who led me into CTV. But apart from that, there's a number of people who have played
a big role.
Like, I don't even want to mention names because I will even tend to forget. But I was just mentioning people who I feel like they were key role players within media, and as well as the department. I mean, I've been supported by the Department of Arts and Culture in the Northwest Province in so many ways. I was part of the production of Miss Teen Universe in 2016 in Costa Rica, South America, which was amazing.
About that.
And I was supported by the department as well in it. So there's been a lot of people. Like, I feel like even though our parents do not support us, but the power of the Most High, somehow you will always be sent people who will be used to actually put you forward and push you further in your career somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah, there have been a lot of people who played a major role, and a number of institutions as well, and I'm so grateful to all of them.
Yes. Did you travel to Costa Rica?
Yeah.
How was the experience?
It was so fun. I mean, it was my first time on a plane, and then we were transiting it was just so crazy, and I was just so young, and it was in the year that I was actually doing my matric, and my teachers, everyone was like, no, you can't do that, you're gonna fail, because I was literally gone for over a month. But I went because I knew what I was doing, and I came back still, and I passed my matric so well, and I even got into accounting science eventually. So that's why I'm saying that, you know, a lot of people always come to me, even now, people say that you cannot do accounting and media and acting and radio, because I'm doing radio as well. Yeah, I'm in UCT radio now. You cannot do all of that at once. Something is gonna fail. I'm like, you know what, if I'm gonna fail at any of them, then it will be my failure. Ultimately, I know what I'm doing. I know how I'm managing my time well, because I want to be a powerhouse. Life is about taking risks. Life is a risk itself, so it's up to you to decide whether are you willing to take a risk to live a bigger life, even though you know that you might lose all of it.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back just after this. This conversation is so interesting, you guys. Welcome back. If you just joined us, I am with ex-Open Studio presenter Phemelo Mhlanga, and he's here telling us about what he has been up to after leaving Open Studio. So you've worked not only for one radio station, but just what happened after Motswedi FM?
Well, in Motsweding, I was kind of like more of a feature than anything else in Khwezimodimo Seleka's show, because it is during the 2010 FIFA World Cup time, so you remember there was just a lot of buzz and a lot of things going on during the time. So later on, I got into NWFM in 2014, and I was still in high school by then. And I got exposed to so many industry veterans during the time.
Yeah.
I spent 3 years at NWFM until eventually I left, and that is when I came to Cape Town to now begin my studies and focus solely on them. And that is when now TV came into place, and then now eventually made a return to radio by joining UCT Radio, which is a very exciting journey that is just beginning as well. And I mean, I'm looking forward so much to grow with UCT Radio, because now it has been nominated for the Liberty Radio Awards, and there's some of these shows as well that has been recognized, and you know, I want to be a part of that. I mean, they're doing great work, and I'm so much excited as well to grow with them as a presenter and be exposed to so much more.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to ask you how you merged television, or like television presenting and radio presenting, just briefly.
Well, one thing I've realized about the two is that they're so different. Because I remember, because of the time that I spent in CTV, by the time I went back to, when I was going to for my interviews with UCT Radio, they were telling me that, you know what, you sound like someone who's on TV, the way you're speaking. And the difference about it is that in TV is so limited to what you can actually see on screen. However, radio is a theater of the mind. So you should remember that your voice is the one, like the person who's listening is like, the imagination is so broad and so big and so in such a huge way that that person can imagine. You have to reel them in through the content you're speaking about, because they cannot see it, however they can imagine it. They can imagine how you look like by your voice. That's why I'm sure you've listened to radio presenters and you've actually seen their pictures and like, what?
Yeah,
like, because it's not what you actually imagined. So that's what I like about radio, is that radio allows you to let someone's imagination go wild, and it's just so amazing in so many ways, and it's much more relaxed. So yeah, there are two different things, and I always say radio can never die. Even though there's TVs coming and all that, there will always be radio. You'll be stuck in traffic, you'd want to listen to radio for those updates. Radio is that one medium amongst media as well that will just continue to grow.
Earlier you mentioned that you are enrolling in chartered accountant and stuff. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, I am set to begin my articles with Ernst & Young, which I'm very much excited about as well. I mean, and I always say, I respect people who get the designation as chartered accountant so much, because of being in the journey myself. I know how difficult it has been, and how people, I mean, from first year we start, and already when we proceed through the years, like, people just disappear along the way because of the program is just so hard. And what I've realized about it is that a lot of black people, I mean, the ITC board exams by the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants recently just came out, and the 46%, if I'm saying it right, of black people only passed. That means that is less than 50%, those who sat for the examination, which is so bad. And I'm not speaking about those who actually did not even manage to qualify for the exam. And, you know, I was sitting back and wondering, why is it so that, you know, a lot of black people who sit for that actually don't pass or don't pass so well. And I realized that, you know what, it is because of we as black people have found ourselves having to conform in so many ways. We lack resources, and, you know, we have to do things for ourselves. I mean, there are people who already started, they'll have less to worry about. I mean, they have parents who can buy them cars already, equip them with resources and all that. You have to keep on knocking at the bursary's door and getting funding so that you can be able to make it through, and which makes it difficult. However, through all of that, there's a lot of people who have still managed to make it out and prospered. And I'm very much excited as well to get through my career as a chartered accountant and use that to empower more black people, and to empower myself. Because, to be honest, there was a point in my life where I never realized this. You know, I was all about, no, I feel like, but I realized that, you know what, as a black person, because of we've had to succumb to so much more, we don't have it easy in life. Like, I mean, we have to, the journey to success for us is not the same. And
it's not.
We do not start the race in the same mark and destination. And that's a fact. I've seen it for myself. I've witnessed it in so many ways. However, that does not limit a person. Anything is possible. And as I mentioned a little bit later on, that I've seen it in so many ways in my life. God has revealed himself in so many ways. I'm sorry, I'm so religious, but God has
both.
Yeah.
So it's okay, you home.
Yeah, but like, he has revealed himself in so many ways. And you know, I'm very much excited about it. And I'm looking forward to one day be standing and saying, yeah, adding on to so many things that I've done, and as well saying that I am officially a chartered accountant.
Wow. And how do you actually plan, or how are you already balancing media and being a chartered accountant or being...
Yeah. Well, it's all about time management. I mean, that's all I can say. It's all about managing your time well, because I always say to people that I work much more better when I'm under pressure. It's not about you don't have the time. It's all about you making the time.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's like whenever people are depressed, they become more creative.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever that you throw at me actually pushes me to
Very true.
do this
Very
or
true.
excel in what I'm doing.
Yeah. So I love pressure in so much. Like I feel like that's how I actually cope. I can never survive with doing one thing only, because that has never been me. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not built in that way, and I feel like what I'm doing now is actually preparing me for what I'd like to do in the future.
Yes.
You see. So yeah.
Phemelo, for all time's sake, I actually didn't get to ask you about Open Studio, but since I didn't get to ask you about Open Studio, can you please link out for us?
Yeah, so which camera must I use? This one. All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It's been absolutely amazing, and I'm hoping that you guys actually enjoyed having me back here. I'm very excited as well to be here, and of course to Mhlanga. Yeah, that's her other name. For having me as well. Remember that if you'd like to find out more information about Open Studio, do visit our Facebook page. Of course, that is Cape Town TV. From myself, Phemelo Mhlanga, aka the P Master, and Mhlanga, it is goodbye and stay blessed.